Hey guys, welcome back to Double D Vintage Baseball Cards. My name is Dylan, and I'm doing, dude, I got a super epic pickup. One of those pickups that it's like, why do I buy anything else? But I love so much stuff that I can't help buying other cards. But this one in particular is it's just cherry. It is so sick, and it goes so perfectly with my collection of my favorite set of baseball cards of all time. And it also goes perfectly with two VRs that I'm doing. One for Don, or no, not Don. Don, I did one. That one's to be, that one I need to do some editing on. This one is for Iconic Al and Rick Vintage Oddball cards. Now, both these guys are just awesome people. I think Al even bought me a drink at the National last year. He does a countdown of top 100 players of all time and shares his collection on each one. And his next one is the last one he's doing in that series. It's been really fun to follow along. I've watched all of them, and I forgot what number this player came in on his list, but I think it was around 9 or something, but I could be off. But what he wanted to see was cards that use the same image. And this goes along with my pickup, and it goes along with like one of my favorite players that I collect. So let's just dive right in, and then we'll get into Rick's after. So the first card that I'm going to share is a 1935 Goudey 4-in-1 of Jimmie Foxx. This is the very first card I ever shared on YouTube in a video. I hadn't bought any pre-war cards except for some common players before YouTube. I just didn't realize that I could afford them because I was always just looking for Topps cards. And I didn't realize until I started watching and listening to YouTube and all that good stuff that I realized these cards were so inexpensive. I think this was like $100. Give or take $25. Still probably is the same price. Would I buy this exact copy today? No, I'd probably look for a better centered copy, but the image is spectacular. And it's a Jimmie Foxx card. It's insane. So we'll put this one right here. And the card with the same image is pretty obvious what's coming up next. And this was a purchase probably 6 months ago or so. This cost $400. And it was one of those that I saw and I was like, okay, I'm going to follow it. And I'm just going to put a bid in and see if I get it. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm comfortable with as far as conditioning on these older cards. But for $400, I think I won this for $405. The Jimmie Foxx, call this a rookie card. You know, there's some cards that he had prior. Most people consider this a rookie card. Such an iconic baseball card. And this card has grown on me since I purchased it. When I first got it, I wasn't like, man, I just wasn't used to cards that were, you know, had some, what do you call it? A history to it, right? Like, but I have had this on my wall ever since I got it. And I love looking at it. And I saved, you know, just buying a 3. I probably saved $400. And there's a little paper loss here, a little paper loss there. But the image looks really nice. Centering's decent, not great. But I am not selling this card. I'm not looking to upgrade it. It's one that's just going to stay in my collection forever. Now, if I come across a perfect one in a good price, yeah, I'd probably buy it and then I'd sell this. But I love this card. It's such a beautiful card. It's been on all kinds of magazines as a kid through the years. And it's a 1.5. So this is the same image, obviously, of that one right there. And that's what Al wanted to see. And there we go. And I've got more to go. And the next one is another Jimmie Foxx. And look at this beauty. And this is the Goudey 1938 heads up without the scribbles. 1.5 and just a marvelous card. It has wrinkles in it, as you can see. But when it's on display, you cannot see those wrinkles. It literally looks like a Gem Mint 10 card. When it's on my wall like this, I mean, it looks almost too nice. Like maybe this thing was almost washed by Kurt. Like, dude, it looks like too clean. Like, I would rather have a little patina to a card now that I realize in these older cards than this super white one. But nonetheless, it's a beautiful card. And it's a forever copy. And this got me on the train realizing that I can afford these cards. This was probably $300. Bought this quite a while ago. A couple years, year and a half or something. So there we go. That image, and you know what's coming up next, happens to be one of my purchases at the National. And it was my very first. I got so inspired by my friend Adam, Vintage Sanctuary, for his giant purchase of a Goudey Heads Up with the scribbles of Joe D. That my eyes were open at the National. And then I found this at a table probably the next day after he bought that Joe D. And I go, oh my gosh, that is the sickest card I've ever seen. Jimmie Foxx Double X 1938 Goudey with scribbles. I love these cards. I love the cartoons. Hands down, the cartoons are what make these cards. I love the head, that it's an actual, it's him. It's Jimmie Foxx. And then you have the cartoon all around it. Like when you go to Knott's Berry Farm when I was a kid and they draw a cartoon of you, this is what they do. And I love the mini cartoons. And each thing says something, but I can't read it on camera. It's too small as I'm looking through the lens. But hopefully you guys can see it on the big screen, and they're just awesome. So another one with the same image and a beautiful copy. I think I paid $750 for this card. I think it's still the same price at last year's National. Love that. And that just got me on the program. So I'm going to move some of these cards because we've got to make some room here. So I'm going to take this guy out. And this guy, favorite thing, just playing with my cards. There's nothing more fun than this. Hand modeling or not, I love this. Gives me such a fun reason to hang out with my cards, doing a VR or just sharing my cards. So we'll go like this. Next card I got is another one that I picked up at the National. After I got that one, my eyes were open. And this one I found under a stack of one. So I had to ask for, can I see that stack of the Goudey? And he handed them to me. And this was at the last table, the last day, the last hour I was in the show. And I was with Eric Fourleaf. He was buying a card, and I found this. And it just stuck out to me. And I fell in love with it. My first Hank Greenberg. And it goes perfectly with my other copy. And I'm really loving, like, for some reason, I want all my cards in this set to look relatively the same. Be in roughly the same condition, because I don't want to have some thing that sticks out like a sore thumb, one that's in a 7 or anything like that. I want it to look like an old vintage card, but a beautiful copy, nice image. This has pinholes in it, and I paid $500 for this. It might have been $550, and I love it. It has been on my wall ever since. And same thing, the beautiful cartoons. So put that up. And then you guys know what's coming up next, of course. And that was my biggest purchase of my entire life. Found this one on eBay. And I had been watching these cards for like 7 months. Everything that was in the auctions coming up on auction sites, on eBay. And then one was there, and I was like, man, the guy wanted so much money for it. But I found out that he had a shop. And so I literally found his phone number, or it was the company, and then found out who the person was, got his phone number, made an offer of $3,200, no fees, nothing, and closed the deal off of eBay. Picked up the Joe D XRC rookie card in another glorious 1.5. I mean, this thing is spectacular. This is on the case right here. That is not on the card. I mean, if I had PSA in my backyard, I would take this over there and get it re-slabbed because that does bother my eye. I'm like, dude, I just want to put it in a new case. This card is just glorious. The colors on this, outstanding. The card itself, it's a beautiful baseball card. You see on the back, looks like it had a wrinkle in it or like a crease in it right here. Does not bother me one bit. You can't even see it on the front. And the guy sent me a video of it, which was awesome before I purchased it because the photos look so good on eBay and then on the PSA website. But I just didn't trust my own eyes. I wanted a video. So he sent me a video to my phone and I said, that's my copy. And I'm just so thrilled. I think I got a really good price. I've seen a lot of these go cents, way higher than what I paid. So I bit the bullet and I'm glad I did. Look at that card. One of those cards, every time I take it out and I'm holding it, oh my gosh. And you know what? I don't care that cards are in plastic cases. They've been in plastic cases my whole life. Everyone wants to touch their cards. I don't care. It means just as much to me in this slab or in a card saver or in a Mag Pro as it does raw. I don't need to hold this card raw. I don't want to hold this card raw. I love that it's in a case. I can play with it. I can look at it. I can hold it. And holding this card is just magical. So I love this card. And this also goes with Eddy's Cardboard Chaos. Shout out to Eddy's he wants 5 cards that go together. This isn't my entry for it, but Eddy's just an awesome guy. And he visited me over here and he wanted to do, I think he's at 5 years on YouTube he's celebrating. So he wanted to see 5 cards that go together. So, Eddy, if you want to enter me in your contest, that's awesome. I totally understand because I'm doing another VR if you don't. But go check out Eddy's channel. Dude, he's just an awesome collector, does some awesome videos. And I can't wait to hang out with him at the National again. Haven't seen him in like a year. He was over here. So you're going to see 5 cards now. And now this is my latest pickup. And this is like the pickup that I was saying that of when I sold a card on eBay, a decent sized card. It was a Willie McCovey rookie card in a 6. I found one in a 3 that was really, really stunning. It's on my wall. So I sold the 6 for $360 and I had money in my account. And that's when I really go hunting for a in particular card is when I have a good chunk to spend on eBay, not like $50 or $100. That's when I just go, what's ending soonest? This one I hunted for. And I hunted 38 Goudeys and I go, dude, that's the card I want. The Ernie Lombardi. This is the MVP. It goes with my MVP run. It goes with my collection of Goudeys perfectly. And you can see there's wrinkles because I don't think they even go all the way through. But when it's right here, this is a foot away from my face. You can't even see them. And it's just a stunning, beautiful copy. I'll take these all day long. You have to learn to live with certain conditions when I'm buying these old cards. And I'm loving the fact that I'm so happy with them. I don't want one that's been in a bike spoke. I still can't live with that. But if the image is good, give me the creases. Give me those things if it's in the right place. That's the only way I can afford these cards. This card was $175. Buy it now. I reached out. He wouldn't do a deal. He didn't have an offer thing, but I offered him $150. So I don't know comps on this exactly. So I just said, you know what? That is a perfect copy. And Ernie Lombardi was the MVP in 1938, as was Jimmie Foxx. So I have both the MVPs right there, which is just awesome. And I've got his stats right here. And Lombardi's batting average in his lifetime was .306, 190 home runs, 990 runs batted in, 8-time All-Star, World Series champion in 1940, NL MVP in 38, 2 times national batting champion, 38 and 42. And he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1986. I mean, look at this card. I've had this on my desk for over a week, and I've been just holding it, staring at it. I have not put it on the wall with these others because I want to do this video. So now that I took down all the other ones, I can add this to my wall of fame. There it is. Look at those 5 beautiful cards together. Now, I'll display those 4 together because those are the ones I'm going after. I'm not going after the ones without the scribbles as of now. This is my favorite set in history of baseball cards. Ever since I was a kid, I have loved this card and this card more than any card I ever saw. I just didn't know that I could afford them. That's why I love when people talk about pricing, or when you go to the National and you realize things that you can afford. It changes the game. It changed the game for me. And now when I have a little lump sum in my eBay account, I'm looking for some older cards to add in my collection. And these just go perfectly. So this is what it's going to end up looking like. Those 4 right there on my wall. And I have one more from this set that I really, really want. The Bob Feller. I would love to pick that up at the National if I find the right copy, or anywhere. I'd also love to get the Al Lopez, but the Bob Feller would kind of complete my set. And you see the Hank Greenberg, how it's whiter than the rest. I prefer the patina now, especially knowing with like the whole card cleaning thing going on. Like, this is what an old baseball card looks like. Then sitting around collecting smoke in the air, whatever's been going on in nature. I love that look. It looks old, but yet looks like a really sick baseball card. So you guys be the judge on that. I mean, dude, one day, like, if the stupid card cleaning crap takes off, which I just hope to God that does not happen, somebody can buy these one day when I'm dead and they can pop these out and clean them up like these 2. But I think there's no need. I think the look of those look better than those white ones. I think those just have that patina look to them. I love it. So give me these all day long. Beautiful colors. So next VR. So check out Al. Check out his channel. What a great guy. Can't wait to hang out with him at the National again. And thank you for doing this VR. And let's do my final VR showing. And I'm going to put some cards in the background. Got my Duke cards here. And this is a VR for Rick Vintage Oddball Cards. I hung out with Rick at the National as well. My first night I had dinner with him and Mangini and all kinds of guys. It was like one of the funnest nights of my entire life. I was starstruck by everybody. I was like, it was just like one of those surreal moments. I was supposed to be somewhere at dinner, but I was like, dude, I can't leave this. These are my guys. These are my friends. These are the people that I've gotten to know on YouTube. So I stayed, and best dinner ever. Sitting next to Adam, Splendid Sports. Man, it was just awesome. So what Rick wanted us to do was show cards that John Mangini, show a set that John Mangini doesn't have a card from. Now, I picked 2 that I know for a fact that he doesn't have cards from, and I know he doesn't have that Joe D card in particular. And I don't even know if these like qualify, because one, yeah, it's such a random set, but that's what Mangini is. He buys random sets, and I love sharing this. Sadahara O, 1961 Shonen Magazine playing card, King of Clubs, the King of Home Runs, Sadahara O, on this beautiful baseball card that I picked up at the National for like $100. And there's only one of these ever been graded. And I have it right here. It's just such a sick card. So eat that, Mangini. Woo! Try and find that one. Now, I think that he had, he wanted to find more realistic sets that he doesn't have. But you know what? This is what I got. So it is what it is. And then he wanted us to do 2 shout outs of channels with less than 200 followers. And I completely forgot to write it down. So I'm not going to wing it. And I'm going to do those shout outs in another, on another episode. So I can talk about each individual because I had a list going and I didn't narrow it down. So another card that I know Mangini doesn't have a card from the set is this Duke Kahanamoku from the 1922 Felix Paughton. I also got this from the National, but I got this from Ryan Nolan from Breakout Cards. He bought this in Europe and soaked it out of the album himself. And he ended up finding one when he got this card. Originally, I saw it on a video and I reached out right away. It was like 5 months before I found out he was putting it up for sale. And I said, are you going to sell that card? I really want that card. I collect Duke's cards. That one, I have to have it. And he said, no, he's keeping it for his collection. But he ended up finding one right before the National in a higher grade. And I personally think this one looks better than his, and his is a 4.5. So I bought this one from him, and I made the deal prior to getting to the National. So paid him on the floor, and there's a video of it. And I'm just honored to have this card in my collection of the godfather of surfing and one of the greatest human beings to ever walk the face of the earth. Olympic champion swimmer, gold, I think 3 golds, just insane. I always say I'm going to do a video on Duke, and I will, because I've read 2 books about Duke over the last 2 years, and I just want to get all my facts together. But more importantly, there's one card that I've been after ever since I found the card, where Duke was born, like where he was raised on Oahu, on the street that he was raised on, in a shop there, in a collectibles shop, a 1924 Willard's chocolate, and I've been on the hunt ever since. So as soon as I find that card, that will be my like grail of grail all-time cards. I've missed an opportunity on one 2 times. I thought I did mega bids, but I guess I didn't. So still hunting. There's one on eBay right now, but the guy wants way too much for an ungraded copy. But eat that, Mangini. I know you don't have a card from this collection. And does it count? He's not a baseball player. I don't know, but that's okay. This is all for fun and all to support Rick. I mean, he's an awesome collector, awesome channel. He's been collecting cards forever. Love the guy. And his videos are just great learning experiences for all of us collectors, guys like me who've collected in obscurity, as Mangini would say, and by ourselves. And I was just buying Topps cards, you know? I still love Topps cards more than anything. But I have definitely expanded my horizon since joining YouTube. And that has a lot to do with guys like Rick showing cards. And looking at cards, and I'm like, oh, I love that card. Oh, wow, I'd love to get that. And learning the knowledge. And shout out to Nate, Tops85401 here. That is a gift from Nate right there, this Duke. And I sent it in for grading a long time ago, and it came back a 10. A little cherry on top there. I just think it looks really good. If I had my own slabs at the time, I would not have sent it in. I would have slabbed it up in one of my own. But there she is in all its glory. And those 4 are on my wall in a row. And then I have this. And I have another Duke, an old Duke, and a couple other like postcard versions. But these are the guys that I display right now. And then you got the O. So shout out to, who did I mention, everybody? We'll do Iconic Al, Rick Vintage Oddball Cards, Eddy's Cardboard Chaos. Go check all those guys out. I will tag them in my description. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, be inspired. Don't be influenced by us fools. Go do your own research and buy the cards that you love most. Shaka!